Hello friends, welcome to Learning. My name is Dr. Ben. Today, we are going to learn some awesome stuff. Learning is for everyone. Let's make it fun and let's enjoy. Hello and welcome to Lesson 5, Formulas and Functions. Module 1, Performing Calculations Using Formulas and Functions. Thank you for tuning into the Intermediate Excel Series version 2019. Today, we will discuss performing basic calculations using formulas and functions. Please remember, there are numerous ways of performing tasks in Excel. In this lesson 5, I'm going to demonstrate to you the fundamentals. Why do we use formulas and functions in Excel? For me, formulas and functions automate my calculations, saves a great deal of time, reduces my fat finger errors, and also provides the opportunity to use powerful data analytics Excel has to offer. Analytics such as complex logic, data lookups, and text manipulation, formulas and functions. This makes large data sets manageable and the result sets dynamic as my data changes. Let's get started. If you are enjoying this series, check the like button below. Check the subscribe button to receive notification of new lessons and modules. Let's get started with the series or the scenario for this lesson. The Delicious Donut Shop. The donut shop has decided to showcase its newest creations at 2 of its locally owned stores. Your task will be to summarize the number of visitors and to document the sales data of the newest creations. You created a workbook containing a worksheet with all of the data during the fair. This seems like a daunting task. However, you got this. After this lesson, you'll be able to tackle the task and present accurate information based on the data to the boss of the donut shop franchise. What to expect from this lesson? In this lesson, we will talk about how to create basic formulas and utilize various types of cell references that can be used when devising a formula. We will also discuss the concepts of functions and how they are used, followed by an examination of the structure of the count function and an introduction to the if function. This is the most popular conditional logical function used in Excel. Let's take a look at those learning objectives here for Module 1, Lesson 5. At the end of this module, you will be able to perform basic formula calculations, demonstrate the ability to use more than one operator in a formula, use parentheses to modify the order of operations, and use cell references in formulas. In Excel, knowing how to create a basic formula to perform a calculation is the foundation for many more complex tasks you may perform. Simply knowing how to add, subtract, multiply, or divide numbers in Excel allows you to perform many of the calculations routinely used in worksheets. Let's take a look at how to create basic formulas to perform calculations in an Excel worksheet. When you carry out a calculation in Excel, you must enter a formula into the worksheet. Let's take a look at my second tab here. A formula, according to Microsoft Excel, is a mathematical equation that performs calculations on values in a worksheet. Formulas often perform calculations related to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. A formula contains one or more of the following. Let's take a look at that. In prior lessons, we talked about the cell reference right here. The cell reference is the coordinate of a specific cell. We have our B3, cell reference right here. B is the column, 3 is the row. The number 19 is referenced as a cell reference B3. Range of cell references right here, G6 through G9, is considered a range of cell references, which is a specification used to indicate a set of adjacent cells. The operator. The operator is a symbol used in mathematical operations to specify the calculations to be performed. We're looking at here the plus sign, the minus sign, multiplication, and division. Our constant. Our constant is considered a number or text value that is entered directly into a formula. The number constant or the numeric constant is 33 and 10. The text constant is hello world. The function. The function that you see here in cell G or cell I-20 is a function in our formula bar. That is a pre-built command in Excel that performs mathematical operations such as automatically adding up a range of cells or looking up values to be used in calculations. Our function here is equal sum, parentheses open, J1 through J5, and parentheses closed. The J1 is the number 1, followed by 5, 1, 1, and 1, all the way from J1 through J5, as you see here in our formula. It adds the numbers up and gives you the results set down here in I-20. I can change anything in here. This set of ranges here are range of cell references, and my result set follows. Excel uses arithmetic operators when performing calculations and formulas, as you see here. The most common operators they use are the plus sign, which is addition, the minus sign, used for subtraction, the asterisk, used for multiplication, the forward slash, used for division, the percent sign, used for percent, the caret, used for exponentiation. Let's take a look at the order of operations. The order of operations, when we create our formulas, we tend to use more than one operator in a formula. To ensure that our formula results in the correct calculation, we need to understand how the calculation takes place. Excel follows the standard mathematical rules called order of operations, as you see here. The order of operations begins with the parentheses. You simplify any expressions inside the parentheses, brackets, or other grouping symbols. Then we move on to the exponents. Evaluate those exponents or powers. We then move on to multiplication and division, followed by addition and subtraction. If you need help with this, take a look at the source I have here for the order of operations. To help you remember the order of operations, use the acronym Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Let's take an example here of the formula 3 plus 6 times 2. 3 plus 6 times 2. We see in the formula bar the equals 3 plus 6 times 2. We are looking at the order of operations here. These are constants I'm using. Following the order of operations, multiplication takes place first, 6 times 2, followed by the adding of 3. 6 times 2 plus 3 equals 15. Now let's take a look at the parentheses to modify the order of operations. I can override the standard order by using parentheses in a formula. I'm taking this formula and I'm going to add the parentheses here, open and parentheses closed. I now have here the equal parentheses 3 plus 6, parentheses, times 2. With the order of operations, the first calculation results in a 9. That's going to be 3 plus 6 times 2. Look at the result set now. It's 18. This is something you want to keep in mind when you're performing your calculations. Remember, your order of operations is very important as you create your calculations and your functions and you expand your spreadsheet. So don't forget that. Let's talk about using cell references and formulas. Although you can use constant numbers in formulas, more often you will want to use cell references instead. Remember, a cell reference identifies the coordinate of a specific cell. The power behind using a cell reference is that you can change the data in a cell and immediately observe the results of any formula that references the cell. Let's say, for example, first let's get rid of this 18. For example, the number 5 I'm going to place in E2. I'm going to place number 8 in cell F2. I'm going to add these two numbers together in G2. Let's add them. I'm going to put in my equal sign, sum, hitting my tab key on my keyboard opens up the formula, adding in my cell E2 plus F2. Hitting my return key gives me a 13. Notice that the values in our formula bar or in our formula does not contain constants. It contains cell references E2 and F2. If you decide to change the values in cell E2 and cell F2, it will automatically calculate the new result in cell G2. For example, I'm going to put a 10 there, hitting my tab key, 18. I'm going to put a 10 here, tab 20. Let's look at another way of doing this. I'm going to go ahead again and put my sum function in there. Equal sign, sum, hitting my return, my tab key opens the formula up for us. I can take my mouse and tap into the cell I want. Tap into the cell using the operator I want a plus, hitting in another cell, tap into that, return key. There we go. That's a more easier and efficient way of doing things here versus typing it out yourself and promoting yourself to errors. Another way of doing this, I can then, if I have my adjacent cells together, I can use my equal sign, sum, tab key opens the formula, take my mouse into the cell I want, drag it over, and hit return. It's added by using the colon there. It adds those two together. So it's 3 ways of doing this. I can either manually put in my operator. If I know I have a plus, I'm going to add these numbers together. I can just simply drag those adjacent cells together. Let me briefly give you some information about the colon. The colon is known as a range operator in Excel. It has many uses. One use is in formulas where the range operator is used to perform calculations within functions. It's used in the sum function and also the average function and other functions as well. So the range operator has many uses in your formulas to perform a variety of calculations. Let's take a look at some other operations here. Follow me in your worksheet as I go through here. I would like for you to create a worksheet that has the following numbers. In your cells, let's delete this right here. In your worksheet, in cell A1, go ahead and place the 10. In cell B1, go ahead and place an 8. Now I want you to go ahead and add those two in cell C1. How would you do that? I can use my equal, sum, tab, take my mouse into A1, drag it into B1, and hit my return key. I have 18. Underneath that, in A2, I want you to put in the number 15. Tab over to B2, put in the number 2. In C2, I want you to subtract those numbers. Hitting my equal sign again, equal sign, I'm going to subtract those numbers, equals, hitting A2, minus B2, parentheses closed, and gives me 13. We don't have a function for minus. I think we do in here. Let me see. Equal. There is no function for minus in Excel that I know of. If you do know of one, do let me know. For number 3, let's put in the number 25, followed by the number 3 in our cell B3. In our cell C3, let's go ahead and multiply that. How would I do that? I would take my formula into the cell and put equals, parentheses open, select A3, use my operator asterisk times B3, parentheses closed, return, it gives me 75. The next one, A4, put in the number 30, tab over to B2 or B4, put in the number 2, tab over to C4, and we're going to divide. Equal sign, parentheses open, select A30, use my / and tap into B4, parentheses closed, and return key, you have 15. So we have our formula set for our functions of sum function. A1 to B1 is a plus. We've added, or we subtracted, A2 from B2 to give us 13. We've multiplied A3 to B3 and divided A4 to B4. So as we discussed earlier, when you enter a formula into an Excel worksheet, only the result of the calculation is displayed within the cell. The underlying formula is only visible by default in the formula bar when the cell contains the formula is active, what you see right here. You see the formula right there. Excel provides a few options for displaying and editing formulas. These options include viewing and editing the cell in the formula bar, right here. Double-clicking the cell to view and edit the formula. I can double-click it. I can view the formula right there, and I can also edit it right there. Or we can go through and using the Show Formulas command to display all the formulas in the worksheet. To enable your Show Formulas command, select the Formulas tab on your ribbon right here. From there, you're going to select Formulas tab, which we did already, and use the Formula Auditing group. So find that right here, Show Formulas. There we go. We see our formulas right there. That comes in handy every now and then. To deselect that, go back and deselect Show Formulas. It's time for a knowledge check. Attempt to answer the questions presented. You may pause the video after each question to review. Return to the lesson when you are ready. The answers to each question will be displayed a few seconds after the reading of the question and possible answers. Let's begin. In Excel, a or an blank is considered the coordinate of a specific cell. A, adjacent cell. B, cell reference. C, function command. D, operator symbol. The answer is B, cell reference. True or false? In Excel, the standard mathematical rules called order of comparisons are used when calculating a formula. A, true. B, false. The answer is false. The true answer is order of operations. True or false? In Excel, although you can use constant numbers in formulas, more often you will want to use cell references instead. A, true. B, false. The answer is true. The power behind using a cell reference is that you can change the data in a cell and immediately observe the results of any formula that references the cell. What did we learn from this module? You are now able to perform basic formula calculations, demonstrate the ability to use more than one operator in a formula, use parentheses to modify the order of operations, use cell references in formulas. This is the end of Module 1. Stay tuned for Module 2, using references in formulas. Thank you and have a great day. Goodbye.